the blank are winning the offseason so far?
The Los Angeles Chargers are winning the offseason. I love the moves that they've made. Not super big name players that a lot of people know. They signed all-pro center Corey Lindsey. They signed left guard / right tackle Matt Filer. Listen, they've got a franchise young quarterback that they have to protect. I absolutely love that they went out and spent money on two guys to protect Justin Herbert. Again, not the biggest names out there, but I love what they've done so far.
I agree with you. I think it's cool to see someone like just a team support your best asset directly,
Yes.
especially as we look at the Texans and we look at Seattle and we look at kind of the the uneasiness surrounding franchise quarterbacks. Not the case there. How about my New York Jets? I know that I'm going to be a homer in this, but I really like Corey Davis. I mean, Marcus, I've always liked him since college. I know he's battled injuries. He had a really good year. And Lawson, because this has been like a lifelong problem for my team, is getting a pass rush from the outside, going back to like the John Abraham days, right? So this has been a problem forever. Yeah. So I like what the Jets are doing, especially when it comes to signing young guys with a ceiling. It feels like still up. How would you grade my New York Jets?
Yeah, I think they're crushing it. I think Carl Lawson was the best edge defender in free agency, better than Bud Dupree, better than Shaq Barrett even. This is a guy that, despite being a part-time player in Cincinnati last year, had the second most quarterback hits, the second most knockdowns, the third most pressures in the league. He's a rising star at the pass rush position. And when you pair him with Quinnen Williams and you have Robert Saleh now coaching that defense, I love that. And the fact that they got him at $15 million a year, which was quite a bit cheaper than even Matt Judon or Shaq Barrett or Leonard Floyd. I think the Jets are doing wonderful so far.
All right. Well, this is a natural transition to our next question. Is blank is your favorite free agent signing so far?
Well, it's Carl Lawson.
Yes.
Again, I think this is somebody who has legitimate double-digit sack potential. We haven't always seen it in Cincinnati. When he started his career coming out of Auburn, they actually played him as like an off-the-ball linebacker, and that was odd. I think we're only starting to scratch the surface of what Lawson can be in the NFL. And with Quinnen Williams demanding double teams inside, Lawson is going to feast against tackles one-on-one. I think he is a superstar, and I love that signing.
Feel good Jets podcast for me. I kind of like the Nelson Aguilar signing, though. I got to be honest.
Okay.
I saw you, and I'm bringing it up and sort of detouring a bit, but I saw you defending it a bit. I just think that's been such an uneasy position for them that I think it solidifies some things. Would you agree in terms of Aguilar going to the Pats?
Yeah, the one thing I don't love about Nelson Aguilar is he's not a primary X receiver, right? But if he's in a complementary role, he's a very, very good asset to an offense. And now that they have Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and I think the running game is really good, I could see a ton of play action shots to Aguilar down the field, whether it's from Cam Newton or Mac Jones or Justin Fields. I really do like it. They maybe overpaid a little bit, but the wide receiver position has been atrocious for New England over the past really decade. So to get somebody that's proven, that's experienced, I don't mind it at all.
I think that's why I like it too, because it has been such a position of need. And I saw people kind of criticizing this, and I don't get it. I think you're getting a known commodity, which frankly they absolutely do not have. Look, Drew Brees, speaking of known commodities, is retired, we think. Probably going to go right into the booth and make a nice chunk of coin. So simply here, Marcus, Drew Brees was a blank.
Top 5 quarterback of all time. I really think he was excellent. He just happened to be in the era with Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady to no fault of his own. Just absolutely phenomenal. The stats were crazy. He was in a tough conference. Obviously, he's going to have all these records that will maybe never be broken. I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say a fantasy football all-timer. He's really an all-timer, but statistically, just he's a monster. I mean, that's what he was too.
Yep.
He was.
Yep.
And I do think you bring up a good point in that in a different era, you wonder what the legacy would look like if you weren't comparing it to true, like all-time GOATs, which he kind of is.
Yeah.
And so, and I think some ways that legacy will be lost a bit. And yet when you look back on this thing 20 years from now, and you just size these guys up, this is kind of a golden era of quarterbacks. Now, it may be something that runs a little bit further based on where the game is going and how the game is being played. For him to do it the way he did, especially when you consider how he started, he had the shoulder injury. Like, this did not look like it was going this way for a while.
Right. And it's not like he's the biggest guy in the world with
No.
the biggest arm or anything. He's just so unassuming, and to put up those numbers year in and year out is just incredible.
It was, yeah. It's been a heck of a career. And let's stay with this team. I've been waiting your answer for this one. I've been waiting for my answer. Taysom Hill gets a $140 million contract, air quoted contract. So I ask you, Marcus, $140 million for Taysom Hill is blank.
Fake news, because he's never going to see that money, right? It's all voidable years. It's just funny money to help get the Saints under the salary cap. He's not getting anything close to that, guys. It was fun when Adam Schefter tweeted it out for about 5 minutes until we realized what it actually was. It's fake news. It's not real.
It's not real would be my answer too. But I want to ask you this. Somebody puts a contract in front of you for $140 million, but you know it's not real. I thought about this last night. What are the emotions attached? Now, he's made a lot of money already. I mean, he's done well, but you know you're not going to get this. So what are the emotions attached to something like this if you're Taysom Hill?
It's like the same feeling that I get when I get one of those little car things in the mail that says, "You've won a free car. Here's your key." You wish, like, 1% of you wants to believe it's real, but you know it's not. That's exactly how I would feel if I was Taysom Hill.
Hey, he's got a chance though to start. I think he will start. Probably not going to earn that, but still a hilarious little contract work by the Saints. And the last one, of course, Tom Brady signs a contract extension, which just sounds hilarious, of 4 years. And I ask you, Marcus, we'll watch Brady for blank more years.
I'll say 3 more years. I really don't think he's all that close to being done. This Tampa Bay roster is only getting better. They're bringing everybody back. It wouldn't surprise me if Brady's goal is to, like, get to 10 Super Bowls. And it might not be all that unrealistic. I think it is unrealistic, but not completely out of the realm of possibilities that they go on a little bit of a run. And Brady's talked about wanting to play until he's 50. He's not all that far away, Adam. Maybe that's not all that unrealistic either.
I'm going to say 2 more years, but I will say you look at what Tampa has done in free agency in keeping the key pieces largely in place. They're not going to keep all of them. They have kept a lot of them, especially when you look at the really, the defensive line, offensive weapons, and there's some youth on this team. This is not necessarily an old team. They've got some older players, but this is a team that can linger for a while longer. So I think it's 2. I've said that probably for 10 years, Marcus.
All right, Adam, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Is Tampa Bay Tom Brady's last team?
I think it is, because I think at some point you've got, like, do you think I have to say, no, I'm not even going to say, I think, yes, it is his last team. Do you think it is?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not.
Well, I think they've got a good core, and they're probably going to be good through the duration of that contract and competing. There's no reason they shouldn't be one of the favorites again. And I've come to terms with my Brady relationship as a Jets fan. I'm fine with it now.
Well, that's because he's outside the conference. So
yes, and he's drinking and he's living that boat life. I mean, he's got a fan in me now, sort of. In any event, free agency. We're going to be tracking it here. It's going to be madness still. And then, of course, we get right into the draft afterwards. So it's going to be an awesome couple of months here in the NFL offseason.